The Stanley Cup event is here in Hockey Ultimate Team in NHL 24, and in this video we're going to break down the entire event, and I promise I'm not going to rant. Much like the prior years, we've got our Stanley Cup Playoff event that usually launches, coinciding the real NHL playoffs. This year, we got our first set of 4 Master Set players, and in the prior years, this event went for essentially 2 months. No confirmation if that's how this one is going to work, but so far, we've got 4 Master Set players that we need to go over. Starting first, let's take a look at the Master Set players. We're gonna rant. I mean, we can be critical. We've got to be constructive with our criticism. I don't understand how it is possible this is the Master Set player that we land on. Before I get into it, the actual card is pretty sick. 6'1", 190, he's a left-handed defenseman. He's got two-way defensive and offensive defenseman, as well as speed boost, agile dangler, accelerator, and shooting boost, meaning he's basically a max skating defenseman with gold heat seeker, which is fun, and shutdown. Again, one of the best defensive abilities in the game. He's got good hand stats, great shooting. Body checking is at 90, so it's not elite, but it is good. However, the prior event, I don't really count Team of the Season as it's one of the staples every year. The NHL 94 anniversary event, we got a 94 Master Set Brian Leetch. And arguably, this one might be better because he's got gold shutdown and quick pick. He's a little bit slow over skater. But if you went out and made this 94 Brian Leetch, let's say you're a big Rangers fan, do you just downgrade this card or sell it to go get the 96? On top of that, he's also been a team builder. This guy's got 3 Master Set player art. The issue I have here with selecting Brian Leetch as a Master Set player for essentially the 3rd time is that when it comes to headshot cards, like this Wayne Gretzky here, that can be done at any time. Planned or not, you know, things could change on the fly. You can put any headshot card art in, that doesn't matter. The guys that get Master Set card art, which, again, incredible, by the way, I believe his name's Micah, does a bang-up job. These are absolute nails. But they have to send in the request of who to make far in advance so that the graphic designer can actually make this card. So that means this was planned. When you just got finished this 94 Brian Leetch, literally meaning that they planned out a prior event and said, hey, Brian Leetch, we're going to feature him. We're going to do Team of the Season, which is a massive event, but then we're going to sandwich it on the other side with a playoff event where we just give Brian Leetch. Assuming that the playoff event continues, at least don't make him the first release here. Anyways, following him, we've got the 96 Yager. 6'3", 254. We got the big boy Yager. He comes with playmaking, power, and sniper forward, as well as speed boost, agile dangler, accelerator, and checking boost, meaning that we've got a 98 speed Yager. Gold unstoppable force, which I think only works on giant players. I found it to be pretty ineffective, and that might be based on the new controls, because it was so effective with shove checks, which it still is. However, no one's shove checking in NHL 24. A lot of players that use total controls are holding down circle or B, which is a massive hit, and I don't think it does anything with unstoppable force. Make it snappy is great. Tape to tape is whatever, as is puck on a string, and you know my thoughts on elite edges. I think it loses its advantage later on in the year. However, it might be decent on Yager because he's only at 95 agility, and he's such a massive boy. But again, one of the best things about NHL content is that every week on Friday, we get a new exciting event, new highlighted cards that we can chase after. Where Yager already received a Master Set player item this year. It's much lower in overall, I get it. He also has a 93, that's fantastic. But when we've only got a finite number of cards and players that can be highlighted in a year, why are we duplicating? Again, I think this has more to do with the content structure and how it's released, meaning that if this was season-based, or we received more of the Master Set card art, or let's say we even had Upper Deck making the cards where it felt like Master Set players weren't as needed or special because, you know, we got to use the Upper Deck card art, much like MLB. It's just in the current content structure, we don't get unlimited amount of Master Set players. I just don't understand why they would land on Yager. Especially when you consider that we don't have a Leon Draisaitl Master Set player item. I know he got Community Team of the Season, but we couldn't even make this card. And while he hasn't won a Stanley Cup, he has 77 points in 49 career playoff games. But I digress. We also got the 96 Kyle Connor, which I'm actually pretty okay with. I like that they went with a Winnipeg Jet here. He's got playmaking, sniper, and two-way forward, as well as checking, playmaking, agile dangler, and shooting boost. Gold make it snappy, which is awesome this year. Unstoppable force, 1T, elite edges, and puck on a string. 96 speed, excel, agility, and balance across the board. Max shot, hand stats as well. There are a lot of good left-handed wingers, but for Winnipeg Jet fans, this is a pretty fun card. And then finally, the 96 Philip Grubauer. 6'1", you're not going to be able to use him in-game. If you're a Kraken fan and you play offline, then Philip Grubauer can be used. But even in squad battles, you're still going to struggle. And online, you're going to get smoked. But there's really nothing that the content team can do about a smaller goaltender. That's on the gameplay team to figure out a way to make them effective. And they have tried. I'll give them credit. We're just still not at a spot where anyone that's under 6'4" is going to be viable. However, let's touch on the event cards, because this is the one positive from this event, is that they released a playoff item for every single playoff team. Now, normally they would do this multiple times. Every single round, we would get 2 players, and they would go up in overall based on every win. These cards are going to work differently, where they get +2 overall for every round win. So while we receive less of them, there's a bigger investment, and they can continue growing all the way up to 98 overall. Now, if they win the Conn Smythe trophy, they will get another +1 and become 99. I gotta say, with the players that they chose, the only one that stands even a remote chance if they were to win the cup and win the Conn Smythe is Tarasenko, Seth Jarvis possibly, and Charlie Lindgren, because if Washington were to win the cup, it would only be because of him. So quickly going over these cards, you've got Charlie Lindgren from the Capitals, Thomas Harley from the Dallas Stars, 6'3", 205, so he's got good size as well as shutdown. No skating boost though, so you're gonna need Dallas to win a couple rounds, and it might be possible. This is actually a pretty decent card if you were to get it. Dallas has a really strong chance to actually go far in the playoff. Kyle Palmieri, who's always just so slow in this game. He's got gold close quarters, really fun abilities, but odds are the Islanders don't make it out of the first round. Eric Gustafsson from the New York Rangers. He's got accelerator boost, which helps out his skating a little bit, and the Rangers have a very good team, obviously. Stuart Skinner from the Edmonton Oilers. Another great option here, simply because he's got, well, A, Showstopper, which is one of the best abilities in the entire game, and Edmonton could go far, at least win a round, I would think, against the LA Kings. They own them. 6'4", 206, so a good size as well. Gustav Nyquist, who had one of the most underrated seasons, by the way, for Nashville. A big reason why they even made the playoffs. 93 speed, excel, 95 agility. If they stun Vancouver, which isn't out of the realm of possibility, I don't expect them to go far, but they might win a round. My prediction video will be up tomorrow. Casey Mittelstadt, the newcomer to the Colorado Avalanche. Okay skating with speed boost activated, and again, it's Colorado. They might go on a run. Charlie Coyle from the Boston Bruins. Great size, but at 89 speed, 87 acceleration, even if you're using a Boston Bruins theme team, who knows how far they go. They've looked awful those last few weeks going into the season. They do have an automatic bid in the first round. Apologize, Leafs fans. Anthony Chiarelli from the Tampa Bay Lightning. Again, just kind of ho-hum. Sean Monahan from the Winnipeg Jets. Magnetic is a pure 6's ability, just not useful at all in HUT. William Karlsson from the Vegas Golden Knights has Make It Snappy. Seth Jarvis from the Carolina Hurricanes. I actually expect them to go quite far. Philip Roenick from the Vancouver Canucks. And again, if they move on, this could be a decent card with shutdown and some skating increases. Max Domi from the Toronto Maple Leafs has speed boost and gold truculence. This is actually a pretty fun card, but it's the Leafs in the first round. Kevin Fiala from the LA Kings, and then Vladimir Tarasenko from the Florida Panthers. So again, all of these cards will go up +2 overall for every round win throughout the entire playoffs. I hope they low-key add more. Like, what I would love to see is, once round 2 starts, add another card for the remaining playoff teams and have it work the same way. So start them at 92, and if they keep going, add them in, because again, you can then build a pretty decent theme team, which is something that is almost borderline impossible for many of the franchises. So it might be kind of fun to do it that way. Now, how the sets work, extremely similar to prior events, prior to Team of the Season. It will cost you 15 Stanley Cup Playoff collectibles to get the 86 overall of the Master Set players that come out. Now, these did go back to the power-up collectible upgrade path, totaling 29 required to get them all the way up to 96 overall. Now, these have been roughly going for about 15,000 per. You might be able to get them a little bit cheaper. That's about 435,000 coins in value to build one of the Master Set players all the way up to 96 overall. I also can't for the life of me figure out why we do not get higher overall trade-in sets. Like, why are they not allowing us to trade in 92s or 93s or 94s? Is it simply hoping that we'll burn those higher overalls so that when those sets actually come out later in the year, we're forced to buy more stuff? I'd have to hazard that's the guess, because if not, I got no answer for you. And then the last set, the 2024 Stanley Cup Playoff Random Player Set, where you trade in 70 Stanley Cup Playoff collectibles, and you will get one random Stanley Cup Playoff player. Meaning that there is no way, if you want to select one of the cards that are 90 overall to go all the way and to follow along with, let's say you're a Dallas Stars fan and you want Harley, you have to do this 70 collectible trade-in set and hope that your 1 out of 16 odds land. Again, those cards are not overpowered. Why can't we just choose? For anyone keeping track at home, that's about 210,000 coins to do this set. Please don't do this set. If you really want the cards, all of these are probably going to be far cheaper on the auction house. And obviously, the further we get into the playoffs, they will go up in price. There's just so much gatekeeping done to allow us to get the cards we want to use, and I don't ever expect that to change. On to the objective path. We got a Stanley Cup Playoff Week 1 objective path, and as you go through, when it comes to the objectives, we've got a new Stanley Cup Playoff Week 1 objective path that will have you earning 6 event collectibles from the objective path alone, including getting assists with Stanley Cup Playoff players, which is extremely tough to do because they are all very expensive. They don't work like normal cards where there's many lower overalls, as well as 6 power-up collectibles in total. It costs 29 to make a Master Set player. HUT Rush will give you another 4 Stanley Cup Playoff collectibles that you can earn, totaling 10, including the 6 from the objective path. And then in HUT Moments, we got the 2023 Vegas Golden Knights Stanley Cup run, which is actually kind of cool from a moment standpoint where you have to play through every single win from their cup run, but it's only giving you base packs and a couple gold cards, all of that. And then the very last one, which is locked behind the prior one, you get 3 event collectibles totaling 13. You need 15 to make the base Master Set player item. However, you're going to be able to use the other cards that you get to trade in here, so technically you get it for free, but it's probably going to take you quite some time to do that. But that is going to do it for the first week of the Stanley Cup Playoff event. Again, I apologize for the negativity. I try to just give you the info, but after 6 months of delivering the content, it's extremely frustrating that we just have no rhyme or reason why we are getting this lackluster content. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, and I'll see you next time.